National Director of the Australian Republic Movement, Sandy Beyer, told Express.co.uk he has seen an increase in membership over the past few years and believes the family issues raised by Prince Harry and Meghan may be a factor. Mr. Beyer revealed his group now sees 35,000 paid and active member and says he has seen a huge growth in conversations and debates across the country. When asked why he thinks that is, the Australian Republican believes the internal family problems of the royals was convincing many to remove the Queen as their head of state as they stay in the role regardless of whether they want to be there or not. Speaking to Express.co.uk, Mr. Beyer was asked for his assessment of where the Australian Republic movement was at currently and whether recent events has affected that. Mr. Beyer explained, "Our group has had a resurgence in support and we've seen tens of thousands of Australians signing up to get involved in the campaign in one way or another, and the most recent poll by YouGov here in Australia found that 62% of Australians would support a republic, which is a huge increase in previous years. Most Australians look favourably on Prince Harry and Meghan, but the conflict that we have seen in recent years has really highlighted the inherent problems of hereditary rule. People are left in those roles regardless of whether they want to be there or whether Australians want them to be there either." Mr. Beyer was also asked about suggestions Australia already exists within a republic, hence a vote to remove the royal family would be pointless. David Flint, who is part of the International Monarchist League in Australia, agreed the country already exists in a republic as the Queen has very little to do with the day-to-day running of Australia. Mr. Beyer dismissed the suggestion, arguing it was clear that Australian courts and the Constitution showed how the royal family was the representative of Australia among other royal prerogatives. Mr. Beyer was sceptical that despite the role being ceremonial it was still entrenched into constitutional law and wanted an Australian chosen by Australians to instead take on that responsibility. In Australia, the Governor-General acts as the Queen's representative and carries out several duties on her behalf. In 2020, a letter from Prince Charles was made public after he wrote to a former Australian Governor-General, Sir John Kerr, backing his decision to dismiss Prime Minister Gough Whitlam. The letter said, "What you did last year was right and the courageous thing to do, and most Australians seemed to endorse your decision when it came to the point." The Republican pointed towards Prince Charles' political posturing and was concerned by evidence of him meddling in political affairs. Prince Charles was found to have sent private letters to top UK political leaders, known as the Black Spider Memos, which questioned the neutrality of the future king. Despite being relatively innocuous, some critics of the royal family heard alarm bells that Prince Charles would seek to involve himself in politics. More recently, Prince Charles has taken center stage on the fight against climate change through his appearance at COP26 and schmoozing with world leaders. Some political and royal commentators in Australia have taken a dislike to this position and argue he should stay out of controversial issues. Australia held a referendum in 1999 on turning into a republic, which would have seen the Queen replaced by a head of state chosen by Parliament. However, lost with 5% voting no, with many analysts arguing the system which would replace the royal family was not well liked. Mr. Beyer told Express.co.uk his group would be presenting a new campaign in the next few months which he teased would address the issues of the referendum. Prince Harry and Meghan left the royal family in January 2020 in an attempt to carve out their own lives in America. Since then, the Sussexes have attacked the royal family in interviews, with Meghan accusing them of ignoring her mental health problems. Prince Harry also came out, said Prince Charles passed on his trauma to his children after his harsh childhood.